Don't you feel silly? Don't you feel stupid? Don't you feel a little ashamed?
So, if you don't know, recently YBA went under a DEFCON 3 attack and had to completely disable trading in order to stop a new duplication exploit that's been the word on the street. Some people are surprised it seems, but let me tell you, this has been the least surprising reveal ever since the Christmas update coming out having just a million skins and some Christmas presents. Of course they found a way to duplicate items and stands. It's a community with hundreds of thousands of players. You've got to assume automatically that at least 1% of them are no lives that have been handed everything since birth, YBA being no different for them. I gotta say, before we get into the actual faults of Uzu in handling this situation and creating it in the first place, exploiters are probably the saddest excuses for intelligent life on the entire planet. If you're so bad at a Roblox game, first of all, that is a vile sentence to come out of my mouth. Being bad at a Roblox game is already not a good start, but if you're so bad at a Roblox game that you couldn't do anything whatsoever for yourself, and you spent $20 on a program that essentially plays the game for you, plays Roblox for you, you have to be the most desperate, pathetic being in existence. If you're exploiting in a single-player game, I mean, have at it, if you just want to mess around and have fun without ruining other people's experiences. But when you get to such a point of desperation as to spend money or go through the hassle of risking your computer's safety and downloading a shady-ass hacking client to get a few lucky arrows to win SBR for you because you're too fucking bad with D4C Love Train or something, that, my friends, is called rock bottom. No. This is lower than rock. This is magma bottom. This is center of the earth type low. But enough about exploiters. Them being lazy and pathetic is nothing new for sure. You guys already know that. I'm trying to bring some new points to the table. And my point is that Uzuki made a huge mistake. No, he didn't make a mistake in testing. He didn't make a mistake in scripting, per se. How do you guys expect a team of maybe, 3 to 10 testers to find an exploit in a week or so when it took a collective team of hundreds of thousands of Joes to find it? We can have some high expectations for Uzu sometimes, but when it comes to testing, I'm very sure that he doesn't have any sort of otherworldly powers like D4C to get a bunch of Uzus to test the game and find exploits for him. Or maybe he does and he's been in the Bahamas chilling while his lazy clone sits here and pays other people to do a majority of the updates. Hey, I'm not Uzu's mom, how should I know? The point remains. The fault doesn't lie in the execution of the trading update, but rather in the update itself. Every time I make these videos, I state these examples and I'll state them again. Abazarday's trading system gave way to dozens of exploits and duping glitches, so did AUT's and Project JoJo's. It takes 5 seconds to look those up and find tons of videos about how to duplicate basically anything you can trade. And Uzu still went for it. He still got baited by the little dollar on the end of the fishing line, the classic trading duplication switcheroo. Quite frankly, he flew too close to the sun. Very much blinded by money, he went for the one-all-be-all trading update, which was spike his player counts and income, and it sure did, but now he's facing the consequences. And boy oh boy, they are not pretty. I've honestly never seen a Horseman of Heaven in YBA in my entire year and a half of playing it. That's how rare it is. Well, how rare it was. Yesterday was the first time I saw it in a video, and funnily enough, it was in the masses. Dozens of Horsemen of Heaven just doozling around, having fun knowing they've committed the Roblox equivalent of money laundering. And yesterday, I was trying to wipe SBR when 2 Horsemen of Heaven. I've never seen any at all, but after the trading update, 2 Horsemen of Heaven in the same exact team, right before my eyes, speed at exploiting, of fucking course, because they just can't do anything for themselves. But anyways, the novelty is wearing off fast. Even the consequences of the earlier duplication glitch that happened basically as soon as YBA updated still linger around today. Remember when Lucky Arrows came out? It was faster to literally just find a job and earn a few bucks to buy Lucky Arrow off some shady black market than to spend time actually looking for those. Ever since they came out, I've had my item notifier set on them for a grand total of no less than 30 hours, and I have not once ever seen a Lucky Arrow spawn in any server ever. Finding a Lucky Arrow was rarer than finding a video about your bizarre adventure that wasn't an annoying-ass disembodied text-to-speech, or a 20-second 1v1 clip, or a terrible Facebook reminiscent shitpost. And as soon as the duping glitch was found out, thousands upon thousands of Lucky Arrows going in and around the YBA economy. People were giving them away left and right for about a week straight, half of all the content YBA YouTubers would make was just using absurd amounts of lucky arrows that were 100% without a doubt duplicated. The rate of inflation was worse than Venezuela, post-World War I Germany, and DeviantArt combined. No joke. But by far the most baffling thing is that trading still hasn't been removed yet entirely. I know. That solution sounds horrible on the surface. Trading on paper is an excellent addition to the game. It reduces the grinding by a long shot and keeps the Joes mentally sane. Except, in practicality, their trading system gives way to multitudes of new duplication glitches and exploits. Just remove it already! Call me base, call me red-pilled, but that's honestly the only solution I see here. As long as there's a trading system, there's gonna be exploiters that are abusing it. That's one of the laws of the universe, up there with the theory of relativity and the speed of light. Okay, well, if it's only as long as there's a trading system, I mean, hey, why don't we just remove the source of the problem? It's not like we're going to be getting any sort of incredible Roblox rework that managed to completely wipe exploiters from the face of the earth with some sort of nuclear warhead. Exploiters will find a way to continue exploiting. There's no point in beating around the bush and putting some band-aids on it. If you have a leg that's poisoned, constantly bleeding out and throbbing in pain, you don't put a few bandages on it and call it a day, you amputate it! Same logic should go for YBA. Don't just keep on patching these exploits because they're inevitable. The economy will keep on being driven down until a lucky arrow is worth about as much as a grain of fucking sand. You know what I say? Quit it with the shiny bullshit entirely. Why the fuck are there shinies in the game in the first place? Whose goddamned idea was that? The funniest thing, actually, I stopped for a second just now and thought about how YBA is explicitly a role-playing game. It's not like it's something that's swept under the rug. YBA makes sure to shove it in your face and get the point across that it's an RPG. It's in the description, it's in the category of the game, and I'm very sure I heard from an official source at some point that YBA is an RPG game where any stand can defeat any other stand. Yeah, what happened to that, Uzu? Did you forget about that when the Heaven update dropped and you added 2 of the most overpowered stands in all of JoJo? The fact that this game calls itself an RPG and is still at the state that it currently is so fucking ridiculous that I find it funny for some reason. Really? A roleplay game! What role do I get to play? A friendless loser that spends his day grinding for the Roblox equivalent of NFTs except with literally no real world value? Or maybe a friendless loser that spends his day destroying his computer to give himself speed so his raging power boner can be satisfied once he kills a bunch of actual respectable players with little to no effort or skill? Wow. Can't wait to be the loser of my dreams. So many to choose from. Last time I checked, RPG games tend not to lure children into gambling addictions and gacha game-like grinds. Sorry, I'm getting off track. The point is that YBA needs to remove trading. It's sad that this is the only solution there is, but just waiting around for more duping glitches and exploits isn't the way to go. One final thing. Uzu actually went Pillarman mode and awakened out of his rock state to give a minor comment on this situation. In his words, "It's quite unfortunate that exploiters exist and that the economy has been ruined. A lot of you want the data to be rolled back, but I'm sure a lot of you don't want to lose data you actually earn, so that won't be happening. Hopefully the economy will be fixed with the flow of time as new stands and skins come out while the player base increases simultaneously." There's absolutely so much irony in that sentence, it's hard to cover it all. And it just goes to show how oblivious and disconnected Uzu is to the community. It's sad, really. I mean, even his community manager Paragon, like him or not, agrees with the fact that trading has been a horrible addition to YBA. And yet Uzu doesn't even realize it for a second. To say, "It's quite unfortunate that exploiters exist." It's like selling guns to criminals and then when a shootout happens, what you have to say about it is, "It's quite unfortunate that criminals exist." Like, wow. It's quite unfortunate that world hunger exists, isn't it? It's quite unfortunate that climate change exists. Man, I wish they'd stop burning that coal, right? Right, guys? Not even stopping to take the least bit of responsibility. Of course, he's not 100% at fault, but people have been telling him so much that trading will just make YBA a cesspool of dupers, and yet he went through with it anyways. Because, hey, maybe it'll earn him more money, I guess. In the second part, hopefully the economy will be fixed with the flow of time as new stands and skins come out while the player base increases, has got to have been the fattest cap I've seen since I saw this guy on Reddit the other day. Not only do I severely doubt the addition of new stands, but let me tell ya, with the direction the game is currently going, there's no player base increase to be had. I'm not saying YBA is gonna die. I'm saying YBA is very slowly in the process of dying. People have been leaving it for a while. None of its original fanbase really cares for the whole shiny stick at all and are long gone from the community. I'm fairly certain that the rate of player loss outpaces the rate of player gain, and for that reason I don't see any sort of future in YBA or any of the Roblox Shoujo community for that matter. But that's going into my previous 2 videos and sidetracking, so let me leave it at this. Uzu is very clearly oblivious of the fate that the future holds for his game, and it's looking more and more like we're gonna be getting a heavier water bucket in the face of Scenario 2. Thank you all for watching. The support has been incredible on the past YBA commentaries, and I only have you guys to thank. Thank you so much for all the support. It really means the world to me. Like, honestly, I check my stats like every 15 minutes no matter what I'm doing. I don't think that's so good, but anyways, if you haven't already done so, please encourage my ego a little more and drive up that like counter by a good one, and maybe consider hitting subscribe down below. Join the Discord server, which I'm always active in because I have nothing better to do. And if you really like my content, consider becoming a channel member so I can do this all the time, regardless of the latest Manscaped razor or any sort of commercial bullshit. Until next time, peace out.